I'm lying. It is a personal pet peeve. And anyone who's watching this will end up coming into my chat here on out when I go live, and they're just gonna spam it with, "Way to not answer." Have you ever had that one person to come into your chat when you're streaming and just say the one thing that just sets you off kilter a little bit? You don't expect it to, but you just read the comment and you're like, "Come on, did you have to say that?" Well, stick around. We're going to get into the top 5 phrases that I personally feel you shouldn't say in a streamer's chat. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Static Suppressor here. You can find me on Twitch most weekdays starting at around 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I play a variety of games. Come by, come interact with the chat. Heck, on this video alone, leave a like, leave a comment of what you think, and please subscribe. Alright, so being a variety streamer myself, I have come in contact with a lot of these phrases I'm going to bring up here on my own personal chat, as well as seeing these thrown around in other people's chat as well while they're streaming, and even seeing the reaction from other streamers who receive this kind of feedback from a viewer gets kind of cringeworthy. Here are my top phrases as to what you should probably not say in a streamer's chat. Let's get into it. All right, so my first phrase I think is pretty straightforward, and that phrase is, "Not too many people talking in the chat today." Or along the lines of, "Pretty quiet in here." This phrase, oh, this phrase. This phrase is quite the eyesore, okay? Especially for the streamer for obvious reasons. If you're a streamer like myself, who I'm on obviously the smaller side of things, I'm normally maybe averaging around 30 to 40 viewers per stream. And even then, there can be times where your stream is just dead. I personally stream late at night, so a lot of times I get a lot of people lurking about, supporting me in that way, which I greatly appreciate, but the chat isn't necessarily moving along. And in doing that, that makes for awkward gaps in between when someone might speak or when a bot might pop up. So there's nothing more of a turnoff to me than when if someone comes into the chat and the first thing they acknowledge too, some people won't even say, "Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, hey, how you doing?" It's a right into it of, "Man, it's awfully quiet in this channel. What's going on?" Because as a streamer, how are you supposed to respond to that comment? Think about that for a second. If you are just a viewer and you don't stream and you don't plan on streaming, put yourself in a streamer's shoes for a second and think, if someone came into the chat and asked you personally, or not asked you, but told you, "Man, it's really quiet in your channel today." Yes, thank you, Captain Obvious. We know it's quiet. We know that this happens to honestly 90% of all streamers, even bigger streamers too. Now, obviously, you have the real top tier streamers whose chat is just flying through. They don't even bother with it, right? Which makes total sense. But the flying through chat and they can't even read it is almost as bad as there being big space gaps in between, and then that little comment thrown right in the middle as a little boop, as a little dollop. I don't know. I'm not the person who's going to force everyone who comes into my channel at midnight to make sure that they must say a word or a sentence every 5 minutes to make sure that that chat is consistently moving for your benefit. When I get a comment like that come into my chat, I almost immediately assume that the person who left that comment wasn't even there for my content to begin with. Whether they're a loyal viewer or not, who has been in your stream more often as a regular, when someone drops a comment like that, I immediately think, okay, they're clearly here because they want to interact with the other chatters, not with me. But yeah, that phrase is just a total turn off of someone coming in saying, "Oh, why is it so quiet in here?" And as a streamer, you don't have a good enough answer. You don't know what everyone's thinking. People might be busy. They lead separate lives too. It's good enough that they're leaving a tab up for you. You don't have to validate that freaking question with a response, in my personal opinion. It's more of just a shrug off the shoulder or just look at him and say, "I don't know, but hey, thanks for stopping by," because you don't want to come off as a complete ass to a viewer who's simply maybe just asked that phrase and it was out of context and they didn't mean anything by it, which totally happens as well. But again, that is just a phrase you want to steer clear of. My second phrase is more or less for those who stream and view quite consistently throughout. And that classic phrase, and I say classic because I've seen it on almost everyone's channel at least one time, is wanted to stop by and show some support before I go live. It's great that the person wants to support. It's awesome. Of course, please bring me your support. I'm a lower end streamer trying to grow my channel, trying to grow my presence. I appreciate any support of if you're coming in and you're only telling me that, hey, I'm busy, but I'm leaving you up here. I want to support. Awesome. You're great. Fantastic. I love you. However, if you end up following that whole entire support line with, I'm going to go live soon, that's a turnoff because then, in my opinion, you are basically trying to redirect that streamer's chat and their viewers and their community to try and persuade them in a sense of, oh, this person's about to go live, and I'm not really feeling this person's stream right now, so maybe I should go over to them because they clearly have no problem self promoting in this person's channel, even though it's a very indirect way, right? It's a very gray line. No one's coming into the chat and saying, hey, if you want great content, come follow me over here. I'm going live in 5 minutes. Because obviously, whoever would do that would get an automatic ban. But I'm talking about the gray line area where if you, again, have come into someone's chat just to say, hey, I'm here to support you. However, I'm going to be going live in a little bit, but I wanted to stop by really quick. Don't do that. That puts a streamer in an awkward situation, again, in my opinion, because that's not an automatic ban, especially if it's someone that you might even know, okay? If it's someone that you might even know, then it even gets more awkward because then it's like, how do you approach it? I mean, would you just straight up approach them and be like, hey, do you mind not saying that you're going live? Because then they would rebuttal with, I said I was in there to support you. I don't see what the big deal is, right? As the streamer in the chat that it's happening, you don't want your viewers to look at this other person and think, huh, maybe they're going to provide better content. Maybe I should just stop my stream right now. It's totally fine if you end up getting promoted by that streamer who you visited and they say, oh, I love this streamer. You guys should check them out. Here is your shout out. Here is your proper self promotion that the channel owner is actually divvying out right now. So when it comes to self promotion, obviously 99% of the channels that you go and visit, they don't want you to do it. So don't even try tiptoeing around it with a gray line comment such as that one. A third phrase that I personally feel a viewer should never say into a streamer's chat would be, hey, your stream is looking really laggy and bad. Especially if you're a smaller streamer. If you are a smaller streamer starting off and you get someone make a comment like that, you're automatically going to assume it's your fault. That it's the streamer's fault that the stream is laggy and bad for this one individual person because they had the balls to make that a public statement in your channel for others to see. So the issue with this comment is the fact that obviously, if you know anything about streaming, and even if you know anything about viewing a stream, there could be a multitude of reasons of why your stream is lagging and bad for this particular viewer, right? If this particular viewer is on a Wi-Fi connection and they're watching it on their phone, okay, it might just be buffering because they're in a bad, cell service or whatever the case may be. I mean, there's a multitude of issues. I stream on Twitch. I know for a fact Twitch has some issues when it comes to rendering in streams, whether you're on a desktop or a mobile app, or even if you're watching on the console app. Sometimes you just get that purple little circle going around and it's not disappearing unless you decide to refresh as the viewer. But it's not up to the streamer to see that comment and automatically think to themselves, oh no, okay, well, I'm going to stop my stream then, guys, and I'm going to come back and hopefully I have it fixed for you. Because more likely than not, if you have a loudmouth person like that coming in saying, your chat is really laggy and bad for me, 9 times out of 10, you think you fixed the problem, you came back, your stream was fine to begin with, but this one individual who didn't change up what they're doing is still going to say to you, yeah, your stream is still pretty laggy and bad. I don't know what to do. Again, I have seen this particular phrase used in other people's streams, and these other streamers have looked at this and thought to themselves, oh man, it must be on me. I must be the issue because I'm just starting off. So, of course, my stuff is going to be broken. No, your stuff is probably fine. And the only way to check that is you yourself, as the streamer, open up the app on your phone, or if you have multiple monitors where you're streaming from, bring it up on your desktop and you check for yourself on your own channel if it's coming through just perfectly fine. Which, good etiquette, by the way, if you are streaming, you should always just have your stream up in some way or another on another device just to have that kind of reassurance. So if someone does come in and say that, you can automatically shoot it down and go, no, it's not. I have total fine connection over here. I'm not dropping any frames. I have it up on my phone here, as you can see, you know what I mean? So you just put a kibosh on that comment as soon as it comes in. Plus, on top of that, if you do have a little bit more of an active chat going on and you have people coming by and they are watching you, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have one of the other viewers stand up for you and say, looks fine to me. So as a viewer, take a second. Why don't you refresh that stream, whether you're on any kind of device? And then on top of that, if it still looks bad, instead of saying your stream looks bad and laggy, you should just say in the comments, hey, chat, is anyone else getting a little bit of lag in this stream, or is it just me? Number 4 is almost hard to approach because everyone has their own personal reasons as to why they may or may not want this type of comment in their chat. Me, myself, given my personality, this is a comment I would not want in my own stream, which is, "You don't look too happy. Are you okay? What's going on?" Initially, when you read that as the streamer, you might approach that situation and go, "Oh, well, I mean, I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking." Because oh, hey, thanks for checking in on me, right? I don't mind checking in on people. Okay, I don't. Of course, you want to make sure that the streamer is in good mental health, especially nowadays when it seems honestly like I'm seeing so many streamers starting to kind of throw in the towel on streaming. It's a good question to ask. However, my one restriction on this is that there are what they call whispers on Twitch for a reason, or private messages on Facebook Gaming for a reason. That is the appropriate approach, in my opinion, to ask that type of question or bring that kind of issue up to the streamer that you are watching, okay? Because if you are streaming and let's say your energy isn't as high and but you're focused on the game. So you're sitting here and you're just, you're going away, but it's very kind of blank stared and it's just, it might be even silence from you for a bit, so it's just like this. And then someone comes into the chat and then they say, "Are you okay? You don't look too happy." That puts the streamer, at least for me, in an awkward position because I read that and I automatically feel the need to combat that, whether he's right or wrong. Because you don't, in my opinion, want to come off as, no, I'm having a really shitty time here and I'm not enjoying this whatsoever. I don't even know why I'm entertaining you guys, so screw it. But on the flip side of things, you don't wanna come at it in a combative way to where you might actually be in a great mood. I might be streaming and be in a great mood, and I'm just focused on the game, so I look like I'm just, stone faced, but I'll read that comment, and I'll immediately, because it irked me a little, I'll go, "No, I'm totally fine, dude. What's are you okay? I mean, what's going on?" Which obviously is a terrible approach too, because then you get the rest of the chat who might look into your emotion right there and go, "Yeah, they really aren't okay. Let's have a private conversation with our other chatters in a separate whisper about how this streamer must clearly not be good because why are they flipping off the handle so easily?" And it's not because they're flipping off the handle; it's that those kind of personal questions I feel are appropriate for when you privately message that streamer, whether it's in a whisper or what have you. And maybe they are a little bit off too. Maybe they are having a bad day, but it doesn't mean that you need to kind of throw that out there for the rest of the chat to see. No streamer wants to see that publicly in their chat, okay? Keep that to private messages only and, keep the actual chat box for chat content of what you're watching and or conversing with your fellow viewers. Number 5 is a phrase that a viewer should refrain from using in a streamer's chat is, "Way to not answer me." Now, I laugh at this because I've gotten this many, many, many times. And now it's not a personal, I'm lying. It is a personal pet peeve. And anyone who's watching this will end up coming into my chat here on out when I go live, and they're just going to spam it with, "Way to not answer." I might have set myself up for a troll on that one. As a streamer, you hate seeing that come in because, one, you feel like you're failing or you're not paying enough attention to your viewers who you are streaming to. So they are kind of priority in a way, right? So you don't want to have that kind of feedback come in because you don't want other viewers to see that comment come in, because then those other viewers may end up taking it like, well, if they aren't even responding to this one person, do I even have a chance of even trying to get an answer out of this streamer that I'm trying to check out their new content with? So as the streamer, you also feel put in an awkward position because you're like, I'm sorry, I missed it. I missed it. Let me go back up. Let me go check out what you said. Give me a second. Give me a second. Hold on, because then it throws off the vibe again. I understand if something important maybe like happened in the chat that maybe the streamer missed, and that the whole chat may want them to go back and check out. Like if someone came in and dropped a donation on them and the streamer did not realize they got a donation, and it's been about 5 minutes and that chat has already pushed up the donation alert to where even when the streamer goes back to look at chat, it's not even there. That's an appropriate time for then, the whole entire community to be like, "Hey, look back up, dono hype," and then, "Oh, what?" But if you're just coming in and you asked like a simple question, right? Among the slew of chatters, and it was something like, "What kind of games do you play?" And then it gets pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And then you come back and you're looking at your chat and you're just kind of skimming through it. And then someone right away says, "Way to not answer me." If anything, as the viewer, just reiterate that question again when that streamer is back to looking at his chat. There have been so many times too where I've seen a streamer get up, take a break, leave the room, right? So they can't see their chat, and someone will come in and ask questions to the streamer as if they're sitting right in their chair still. And then when that streamer comes back, let's say 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, that person has become salty Sally and says, "You didn't even answer my question, so that was kind of rude. I'm a bounce." And then you just left that streamer with an awkward experience because then they came back and they're just like, "Whoa, uh, I I was going to the bathroom. I was taking care of my kids. I was getting something to eat. Sorry about your question." Again, it's just a little pet peeve. Again, this is just a personal opinion. This doesn't go throughout, but these are what I feel would be good rules to follow by when it comes to not saying a specific phrase in someone's chat. Again, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of phrases maybe that you've come across, or maybe a couple that I've missed, that you as a streamer, you see and you just cringe and you're like, "Why would you say that?" Even if you're a viewer. If you're a viewer, maybe you've been around enough streams to where you've seen your fellow viewers act kind of insensitive, we'll call it, towards the streamer, and how that whole entire how that look portrays upon the streamer in question. Appreciate the support, guys. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content by me, I have a whole new slew of videos I want to get up here on YouTube, trying to make a push back onto the YouTube scene. Again, you can catch me on Twitch most weekdays starting at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, I also have my community group, Gamer Dads Nation, on which channel you're on right now, where it's a bunch of community members who are parents who game, coming together, enjoying that love of gaming and getting to know one another in that way. I'll put links in the description below of where you can find myself, as well as maybe other community members that you can get in contact with and just have a fun dialogue. All right, we're all about gaming, we're all about supporting one another, especially for us smaller streamers who are just trying to slowly kind of rise up the ranks a bit. And for Gamer Dads Nation, I'm Static Suppressor. As always, stay healthy, stay safe, keep streaming. I'll see you in the next video. See ya.